what's up?
Precious was a phenomenon, with a star-studded cast of Monique, Paula Patton, Mariah Carey, Sherry Shepherd, and Lenny Kravitz. The film earned over $63 million on a $10 million budget, an amazing return that turned a small independent drama into a cultural event. The movie completely blew up. The film premiered to acclaim at both the 2009 Sundance Film Festival and the 2009 Cannes Film Festival. At Sundance, it won the Audience Award and the Grand Jury Prize for Best Drama, as well as the Special Jury Prize for Supporting Actress Monique. The awards didn't stop there. Precious received nominations from the 67th Golden Globes, with Monique winning Best Supporting Actress. She also won the Screen Actors Guild Award. The film received Academy Award nominations in all three major categories: Best Cast, Best Actress, and Best Supporting Actress. On the night of the 82nd Academy Awards, Monique won Best Supporting Actress for her role as Mary Lee Johnston. She received more than 60 nominations total, winning the Academy Award, the Golden Globe, the BAFTA Award for Best Actress in a Supporting Role, and she became the fourth African American woman to win the Oscar for acting. Accolades that most people only dream of. For her acceptance speech, rather than thanking the list of producers and studios, she said this:
I would like to thank the Academy for showing that it can be about the performance and not the politics.
That line caused a lot of trouble. Monique was paid $50,000 for an Oscar-winning performance, for a film that grossed over $63 million globally, for a performance that swept every major awards circuit. In an interview with Variety, Monique revealed that she received only $50K without any back-end royalties. She said that when she signed the contract, she trusted the director, who was also a good friend, which was Lee Daniels. Monique made it clear that she wasn't entirely blaming anyone for the deal itself. She's the one who signed it. But she did draw a hard line at what she felt was withheld information. Myself and Gabrielle Sidibe, we should have become multi-millionaires off that movie had we been given the right information. We weren't given the right information. If you're not given the right information, it doesn't allow you to negotiate fairly. And that's what also led to her mini feud with Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Oprah. The campaign refusal is where the war began. The exact moment the relationship between Monique and everyone at the top of Precious began to crack is when, once the film screened at Sundance and exploded with buzz, Lionsgate, Tyler Perry, and Oprah Winfrey, who had both signed on as executive producers after the Sundance success, wanted Monique to participate in a full-on Oscar campaign. That meant press tours, festival appearances, international promotion, including a trip to the Cannes Film Festival. Monique said no. Her reasoning was direct and consistent every single time she told it. Monique, who was told she would not be paid for her work to campaign, wanted a breather from an exhausting schedule. At the same time, she was also hosting a talk show on BET, so she wanted to spend time with her husband and their 4-year-old twin sons. She explained on The View that although she was contractually obligated to promote the film domestically, they also wanted her to go overseas for free, also saying that it was equivalent to her not going to the casting couch.
Very good. And on that film, I received $50,000, and that was not my argument nor my fight, because that's what I signed up for. Once I did all of my obligations, my deal was with a man named Lee Daniels. I did all of my contractual obligations, and I was done. Then when I start getting calls from Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and Lionsgate, and they wanted me to come work for free. They wanted to go over to Cannes and promote this film internationally. And I said to them, I said, guys, my deal is with Lee Daniels, and I've done my job. And they all agreed. And this is what happens, in my humble opinion, when you don't go up to the hotel room.
Monique's story never changed. She refused to campaign for 2 reasons. She wasn't going to sacrifice time away from her family for festivals and press junkets, and second, she wasn't contractually obligated to do so. When the pushback came from Tyler and Oprah, Monique recalled a conversation with Tyler at the Neighborhood Awards where they talked about why she wasn't going to promote the movie for free. They agreed, they hugged, and to Monique, they moved on. But once it was clear that she would not relent, that's when the supposed retaliation began. Monique has been acting for years. She had a successful show called The Parkers, and being in the industry, she didn't know the back end of what she could ask for when it came to salaries or producer roles until after the show was over.
Were you ever naive?
Yes. 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 When you first come to Hollywood, Shannon, and I got a show called The Parkers. After I was in Hollywood less than 90 days.
Wow.
90 days. And you have agents and you have managers and you have attorneys, right? And they're telling you all the good things. And everybody always said to me, you want to get the syndication.
Yes.
You want to get the syndication. Once you get the syndication, you work because you want to work.
Right.
Right?
So syndication is what, 5 years, 100 episodes?
Syndication is 100 episodes.
Okay.
Right? So that's all I knew. I didn't know to ask to be an executive producer of my own image. Oh, and nobody told me. I didn't know to ask for that. I didn't know to ask for after the 3rd year of being on a successful sitcom that you could say, I now need a bonus. I didn't know to even negotiate that, and no one told me to negotiate that.
They're definitely not going to tell you.
All they kept saying is, when you get the syndication, when you get the syndication, when you get the syndication. Well, 3 years in, The Parkers was in syndication. Now, no one told me that. You learn it once you open your eyes, because now I'm going around the country doing promos. The Parkers is coming on at 4 o'clock in your city. The Parkers will be on at 2:30 in Sacramento. Y'all make sure y'all watch The Parkers. It's coming on. I'm not knowing I'm promoting the show in syndication. No one told me that. All we're doing is saying if we get to 5 years, we got to 5 years. 110 episodes. Me and a beautiful young lady named Countess Vaughn, who was my baby to this day. We had the Laverne and Shirley law.
Yeah.
Right? You're supposed to be equal.
Yeah.
Once we got to the 5 years, our attorney, my attorney,
yeah,
and the agents said, oh, the Parkers made money. Y'all gonna get paid from the Parkers. It's made money. Okay. Years go by. By 2004, the Parkers, we went off the air in 2004, right? In 5 years, by 2009, the Parkers had made $800 million.
You're like, oh yeah, yeah.
Stay with me.
Money.
Money.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, come
Money,
on. Hey, yeah. All right. Okay, because we waiting to get this money standing. Oh, check is coming. We get a call. We got to do an audit, and everything. Okay. And that was in 2009 that it made 800 million.
Okay.
We're now in 2024. And they're trying to convince Countess Vaughn and I that show made no money.
No. Mm-mm.
They're trying to convince us that a show that cost roughly $65 million to make. In our last year of shooting The Parkers, Countess Vaughn and I made $55,000 apiece.
So in Monique's eyes, she learned her lesson on how to work around the industry to get what she is owed. Lee Daniels called Monique and told her that she was being blackballed and said the reason is because she didn't play the game. Precious is a sad movie. This is one of the first roles where Monique showed her range as an actress. Monique and Lee Daniels dove into the character Mary, pulling out a performance that was relative to the past trauma in her own life.
You took my man, you had those fucking babies, and you got me put off the welfare from running your goddamn stupid ass mouth.
Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah felt like she should have been grateful to get that role and win as many roles as she did as a black woman.
Monique, I fought hard for her to get that job. I wanted her to get that job. And she was paid her money. She's paid the money for the budget that we had. And for her to badmouth myself and Tyler and Oprah is disrespectful, and it's wrong. She's wrong. She's out of pocket. She's really wrong. And I respect her actor because she gave me her soul, but I gave her my soul. And for that, she was given the Golden Globe and the Academy Award. And for her to continue to talk about Oprah and myself and Tyler is disrespectful. To get that performance from her, she had to bare her soul to me. I had to bare my soul to her.
Yeah.
That was like making love without having sex.
I understand.
You understand? There's levels to that.
They turn something small into a huge movie. In Hollywood, it's easy for actresses and actors to accept crumbs just to get a big shot, so they expected Monique to be a team player. When the Hollywood Reporter confronted Lee Daniels with Monique's account, he didn't exactly deny it. His statement read, "Monique is a creative force to be reckoned with. Her demands through Precious were not always in line with the campaign. This soured her relationship with the Hollywood community. I consider her as a friend. I have and will always think of her for parts that we can collaborate on. However, the consensus among the creative teams and the powers thus far were to go another way with these roles." That is an explanation for why she was passed over for roles, and it confirms that her not playing along with the campaign had real career consequences. Later, Lee Daniels did interviews stating that he didn't blackball Monique, that she blackballed herself. One thing he did confirm in a later interview was that he was a bit bothered she didn't thank him the night she won the Oscar. Monique named specific roles that she said were dangled in front of her and then removed, like The Butler and Empire. She wasn't particularly happy when Oprah got the role in The Butler. She was also reportedly approached about playing Richard Pryor's grandmother in Lee Daniels' upcoming biopic, but that too went away. Monique's feud with Oprah Winfrey is the most layered and personal of this entire story because it went well beyond the Hollywood politics. During the Precious campaign, Monique laid out her position to Oprah the same way she did to everybody else. She told The Hollywood Reporter, "I said, Oprah, I'm doing a talk show, I'm doing a comedy tour, I have a husband and I have babies. I have a little bit of downtime and I'm going to take advantage of that. So I'm not going anywhere because I'm not obligated to go anywhere. I've done my part, so we mutually agreed to disagree. That was it. Next thing I know, I'm considered difficult and hard to work with." Monique also stated that Oprah actually agreed with her behind the scenes, but publicly she didn't say anything to defend her. Then came something that had absolutely nothing to do with Precious at all, but which Monique said sealed the fracture for good. A month after Monique won the Oscar, Oprah had Monique's family on her show. Oprah called Monique before a taping, revealing that her brother, Gerald, had reached out wanting to apologize to her for her when they were children. Monique told Oprah she wanted no part in that episode, but gave her approval for the taping to go forward with just her brother. But when it aired, the episode not only featured Monique's brother, but also Monique's mom, her dad, and her other brother, all of whom downplayed the abuse Monique suffered. This was absolutely devastating. Monique had publicly discussed her childhood abuse while doing press for Precious. She said that she drew on those dark places to play Mary, but this was her family on national television, minimizing something that she had fought to process and speak about, and she had specifically told Oprah that she did not want her parents involved. Monique says that Oprah called her to say her brother wanted to come on the show to openly admit he touched her, but also to publicly apologize for it.
Why do you want to be here today, Gerald?
I'm here today to first acknowledge what I've been in denial for 37 years. And that is, I did assault and inappropriately touch my sister in manners that were not comfortable for her. And for that, I apologize, and I'm humbly sorry.
Some may think that you're only doing this to get into the good graces of your sister now because she has an Academy Award.
Nah, I'm doing this to apologize to my sister, to hopefully bring back some family unity.
As for their relationship now, Monique recently told Barbara Walters there is none.
Did your brother ever apologize to you?
The apology that I got from my brother is, if you think I did something wrong, then I'm sorry.
They were my exact words to my sister. Well, there's no more if you think I did it. You were absolutely right with what you said. I did it. I'm not proud of it. Monique, I'm sorry.
Now, there's two parts to Oprah Winfrey that I haven't really spoken about publicly. The other part with Oprah Winfrey is, yeah, you let me get thrown under the bus and you said nothing. The other part is you mess with my family. You mess with my mother, my father. She called me about my brother, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, listen, everybody can change. He wanted to apologize for molesting me. She said, Monique, would it be okay that he comes on? And would you like to come on? I said, I don't want nothing to do with that cat, but I don't want to get in the way of his blessing. If he's changing, I don't want to stop that. She never said my mother. She never said my father. Now, I know who my parents were because they're both gone. I know who they are. I know my mother's greed. I know my father's greed. And you did not say that you were going to have my parents. Because had you said you had my mother, now we had a conversation and I said to her, me and my mother are not in a good place. Now, she said some things to me about her mother and father, which I'll never repeat because I'm thinking we're having a sister moment.
Yeah.
So I shared some things with her about my mother, sometime in tears, and we talking. And then you go put my mother on your show. Yeah, we got a problem. We have a problem. And because it's Hollywood, oh, Monique, just don't say nothing. That's my mother.
Yeah.
And I didn't want the world to see my mother like that. So now when I'm in the Walmart, when I'm in the store, and before y'all say anything, this was Walmart years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, this was when they had DEI still going on, shit. I'm in the store and the elderly women are coming up to me saying, your mama ain't shit, baby. We here for you. That's still my mother. So now I got to look at this elderly woman and say, you got to be respectful. But she watched that woman sit there and support the man. So me and Oprah Winfrey, T.S. Madison, I thought I was talking to a sister. I did not know I was talking to an enemy.
When Monique tried to get in touch with Oprah to discuss the situation afterwards, she was unsuccessful. She said she reached out to virtually everybody to get in touch with Oprah, but the line went dead. Years later, in 2014, the two ended up at the same event. After trying to pull Oprah aside for a private conversation and getting nowhere, Monique decided to address it in front of all the event's attendees. She said in front of everybody, "Sister, you and I have to have a conversation." Also adding in that Oprah said that she didn't know Monique's parents were going to come that day, that they showed up to the studio unannounced on the day of taping without her knowledge. Monique did not accept that. She wrote a public Instagram letter to Oprah saying, "My personal experience with you is you watched me as a black woman be accused of being difficult for not promoting Precious internationally for Lionsgate. At Lionsgate, Tyler Perry, and your request, despite the fact my deal was with Daniels Entertainment, publicly you said nothing and you watched a black woman, you watched me, get thrown under the bus." Monique has also publicly stated that Oprah isn't used to anybody, especially a black woman, saying anything to her.
See, this is why me and Oprah Winfrey got a problem. Till that woman says, let me apologize to you publicly, it'll be to the day I leave this earth. Because what you did was malicious, and it was intentional, and it was ugly. Say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are. It was all said and done. Oprah Winfrey calls me. And in that moment, I was still stuck in, this is Oprah Winfrey. How do I say, you had my mother, my father, my other brother, and I'm stuck in that moment. And when we hung up that phone, my husband looked at me and said, what's wrong with you? That's not what we made of. You know how you felt about that and how you feel about that. And you need to let that woman know, I don't care about a title and a position. That's not what you cut from. So it was my obligation to let Oprah Winfrey know how I really and how you feel about that.
In 2024, performing on tour with Cat Williams, Monique's frustrations had not diminished one bit. During her segment, she led the crowd in chants directed at Oprah and Tyler Perry.
What is that black dick connected to? That black man? So no, I was not blackballed. I was whiteballed. By some black dicks who had no balls. Thank you, Mr. Lee Daniels. Thank you, Miss Oprah Winfrey. No, baby, I wasn't blackballed. I was fucked up by some niggas who had no balls. And see, I know they like to say, Monique, you talk too motherfucking much. It would kill me not to say the real shit. It would kill me not to say the real shit. You are not paying me equally. You are not treating me fairly. So y'all can suck my dick if I had one.
Tyler Perry's role in this story runs parallel to Oprah's. Not as much, but slightly similar. He was an executive producer on Precious, he was one of the people who wanted Monique to campaign, and he became one of the people she accused of spreading the difficult to work with narrative. Monique has publicly stated that Tyler even went as far as to badmouth her to director David E. Talbert. The most explosive element of the Tyler portion of the story is the alleged recording. Monique claims that Tyler eventually reached out and in a private conversation admitted that he was wrong and promised to apologize publicly, recording the conversation for proof.
Did you not just say it was wrong, Tyler? To say she was difficult for not doing something that she was not contractually obligated to do? Did you not say that you would feel that that was wrong? Or am I missing something?
I absolutely said that, yes.
So the question I would say is...
Okay, is there a number? You know, taking that back to them was just a huge problem, okay? And I'm going to David Talbert thing in a minute, because I just watched your podcast, and it really broke my heart, because number one, I feel you. I feel the sadness that's from you in all of this. And I don't want you to feel that. I mean, especially for me. I can't speak for anybody else. But for me, I'm not anyone that wants to hurt or offend anybody, especially you. I think you are brilliantly talented. I think you should have a lot more happening than you from that award. I thought for sure that if you had campaigned and won it and played by their rules, what would happen is in the next deal, you would have got more money, millions of dollars, and your career in the film would have been much different. I believe that much in your talent. So in saying all of that, I just say it's just heartbreaking, because I don't ever want you to think that I'm now trying to blackball or say anything. Please give me when I say this. I'm not trying to hurt you. I would never try to hurt you.
She never got a public apology from Tyler. The only one who apologized to Monique publicly was Lee Daniels.
A long time to realize. I am so sorry for hurting you in any way that I did.
And he openly spoke about how he was wrong in the situation. They eventually worked on a few movies together where he offered her a role in The Deliverance, making sure she was paid fairly.
Here's the thing, Monique, not only did I want to make sure that she was good, but I wanted to make sure that we worked again and that she was paid well for what it was. Yeah. It was really important to me.
Right. And reuniting as friends.
I think that part of me finding my higher power was forgiveness and seeking forgiveness from my good friend, and I couldn't go on this journey without her.
Tell me a little bit about reuniting with Lee and how that process.
What's that song? Reunited, and it feels so good. Come on, baby. Oh, reunite. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's getting back with your friend and having a play date.
What do you guys think about the situation? Do you believe that Monique deserved an apology, or was she wrong in the situation? Keep the conversation going and make sure you comment, like, and subscribe.